This thing is so sick. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a new video on the channel. Welcome to a brand new car added to Horizon 5. I think this is actually a brand new car that's added to Forza. I don't think this Hot Wheels Pontiac was ever added into any of the previous Forza games. You guys can let me know down in the comments below. But I definitely don't remember seeing this thing in Horizon 4. Or Horizon 3, for that matter. Especially with the Hot Wheels expansion on that game. I like this thing a lot. I think it's sick. Also, I don't know why I didn't press up on my D-pad. I could have just gone into photo mode like that. But I wanted to have a quick look at this thing. Absolutely adore the wheels. I love the flared arches as well. It looks so sick. And look at those gold exhausts. Oh my god. The interior as well. A bunch of detail going on in here. You can see quite a bunch of stuff happening in the back. Look at the suspension of this. This thing is sick. And, of course, it's super low. The wide body makes it look so cool. I love this thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's a brand new car, like I said, added into the game. And it's very cool. Now, the way to get this thing, all you have to do is get yourself the 20 points for the new season, the new autumn storm season. Really easy to do, very quick to get. I'm gonna do stuff to this thing. I feel like this could be a really good car to slide around with. Maybe not. Maybe not. I thought it would be just because of the fact that it's got so much power in its rear-wheel drive. It just doesn't have a lot of steering angle though. You can see the front end just losing it. Pretty much. What's this thing like? Stats-wise. Okay. Basically 50-50 weight distribution. Makes 1,000 horsepower. Weighs 1,418 kg. 830 newton meters of torque. I feel like we could do a little bit more with the torque of this thing. Not only that, but its power to weight ratio. I feel like we can remedy that as well. We can make it so it's... I don't know. I want to see how much power we can actually squeeze out of this thing. I feel like we can actually do quite a bunch of stuff to it. I hope I'm right. I was not right. Well, I can twin turbo it. Okay, so it's pretty much NA now, I guess. Yeah, okay, so we can twin turbo this thing, which will probably give it a lot more power. What can we actually do to it? Oh, we can give it some better wheels. Or better tires, even. Drag tire compound. So we're already on slick tires for, like, racing this thing. What if we turn this thing into, like, a drag car? I wonder what that'll be like. For how wide can we go for the rear? 345s on the rear. That is something. What if I keep this thing as a rear-wheel drive? Yeah, what if I build this thing as a drag build? Now I'm very intrigued. Now I'm very... Ooh, power to weight ratio now. Looking extra spicy. 1,500 horsepower. I wonder if 1,500 horsepower all going to the rear wheels is actually going to be useful. We'll change brakes just because we make the weight a little bit lighter. Wait, can we get it? What's it look like with drift suspension? That's really low. That is really low. I'm gonna put the off-road suspension on it just so we can have a little bit more travel. Right. So like I said, I want to keep this thing as a rear-wheel drive, just to start off with. If this thing sucks, I'll end up obviously changing it to all-wheel drive because we can do that as well. Actually, if we change it to all-wheel drive, yes, it adds weight, but the launch of this thing is going to be significantly better than before. Interesting. I feel like 1,500 horsepower all going to the rear wheels might be a bit shitty. 7 speed's fine. We'll adjust everything there anyway. Same with the diff. Okay. I guess now we can probably go with some wider front tires as well, since we're supposed to be getting some grip there. What else can I actually try and do with this thing? I mean, it's pretty much at the top of S1 right now. If we change the wheels, by the looks of things, we can go just slightly lighter, but not crazy amount lighter. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave the wheels alone. I think we're pretty much done with this thing. I wanted, yeah, initially, like I said, I wanted to build this thing for drifting, just to see what it's like, but now it's just no. Just definitely no. I feel like drag racing, basically 1-to-1 power to weight ratio as well. 1,500 horsepower is a lot. But then again, we need to see how this thing actually reacts to putting it down, right? Because, like I said, we need to try and see what this thing is like. Weirdly enough, the actual gear ratios themselves are a bit dead. Top speed wise, oh, we can change this. Oh, okay, that's much better. Yeah, that is significantly better. Okay, I'm gonna start adjusting a couple of things, like I said, for drag racing, and I'll be right back and we'll test this thing out properly. What it's like for drag racing and what it's capable of doing. Wow, well, I am insanely disappointed. I am heavily disappointed. This is terrible. Man, this thing genuinely feels like it has about like 800 horsepower again. What happened? Why is this thing so slow? And it's not me, it's just the way the car accelerates itself. That is really, really, really slow. That makes no sense. This thing having like this much power and it feeling like this. Especially when you get it into like any of the higher gears. Look at it. That is horrific. How is it so bad? Let me show you a comparison here. Let me show you a comparison. I want to have a look at the stats of this thing. Where is it? 1,379 horsepower, right? This thing makes more torque. I just don't understand. I don't understand how that is so slow. So, like I said, let me show you the difference between this 959, how this much power, this has less power by the way. Look at the way that this thing accelerates compared to that Pontiac. Look at it. Look at the way it's building up speed. Look how much faster this is. That honestly makes no sense to me whatsoever. What did I get with it? It was like a 14-second something. So this is less power, less weight, same sort of tires, but it has a bit more torque. This is... I cannot believe how terrible that Pontiac is. I genuinely cannot believe how bad it is. I want to do one with this thing, just to compare the times, right? So it was like 14 something, right? I can maybe get it to like really low 14s, but... This is like a whole second faster. That's ridiculous. How in the world is that car that slow? It baffles my mind. Maybe I need to do something else to it. Maybe I need to turn it into something else, because the way it was there, it felt horrible. So, it seems like it's a broken car at this point. That was horrendous. Okay, so I was thinking to myself, what if I try a bit of hill climbing with this thing, right? Has a decent amount of power, even though it doesn't look like it or feel like it. Kind of basically a 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. I made it all-wheel drive just so we can have a bit of a better cornering grip, corner exit grip, I should say. And let's try this out for hill climb. I wonder if it actually handles all right there, because going around corners is the last thing that this car actually like needs now to be like decent. So if it's able to somehow pull this off, then I'll be at least somewhat impressed with it. And it doesn't seem like it. Because I'm on sim steering, it changes direction very quickly. And it's making these like race tires just seem really bad. Yeah, this car is terrible. It is completely broken. How? You know how wide these tires are? Yeah, this car is terrible. Completely broken. It just does not feel like it has that much power. What is going on? The tires are terrible. The brakes are terrible. The only thing about this car that's redeeming is its looks. I would have loved something like this, honestly. To just be good, because it's just such a cool and interesting looking car. This thing sucks. Seriously. How? I can't even, like, control it. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Like, how am I understeering here? It feels terrible to drive. I really, really wished that this would have been a good car, especially once I've seen it when we changed to the new update, basically, with this whole new series for Horizon 5, and I saw this thing, I was like, I really hope that this thing is good for something. Like, it'd be a cool, like, drift car, or it'd be a cool, like, drag car or something like that. And now for the last bit, I wanted to try and see what it'd be like for a bit of racing, and it just is bad. Which is weird, because it feels like there's initial grip there, right? For the tires, because I can feel it, how quickly it changes direction, right? So with sim steering and all that, it likes to change direction really, really quickly. See? Like it just, boom, darts into the other direction. And that's perfect. That's perfect to have, but it's just bad. Which is crazy to me, because it's got really, really wide tires as well, so it should technically be really good, grip-wise. What an incredibly disappointing car this is. Especially with how good it looks, it's insanely disappointing how terrible the car actually is. It's completely broken. The physics for this car just make no sense. That's what I'm trying to say. The physics for this car just make no sense. The power to weight ratio is insanely good. The power to grip ratio should be insanely good as well, especially with super, super wide tires and basically racing slicks all the way around. All-wheel drive as well. Mostly rear bias. It's 85% of the power goes to the rear wheels, so I made it so I can push myself through corners. Maybe it's due to the weight, maybe because this thing weighs like 1500 kilos, maybe that's the issue. That's the only thing I can kind of blame. But there are cars in this game that are heavier than this thing, and they still drive really well. There's a Bentley I built in this game. I know, granted, it's not like a 1500 horsepower Bentley, but there's a Bentley I built in this game, which is an A-class, and I'll show you. I want to see how much this thing weighs. This thing. 1800 kilos. Right? I built this Bentley Turbo R, and it weighs 1800 kilos. And I remember I brought this thing down the Golden Tollgate, and it is an absolute joy to drive. It's actually so good to control. So it can't really be the weight. Because, like, it reacts to the way I drive. Like, I can push it into corners. Look, I can push the back out and stuff. It's just... It grips up. Look, it actually has grip around corners. Yes, you can tell that I think this thing weighs almost 2 tons, but it doesn't stop it from, like, going around corners, and, like, it doesn't understeer. I don't know. I really don't know how that car is built like that. I honestly feel like the physics of that car just don't seem to be working the way they're intended to work. I don't know. It's weird. It's very, very strange with this car. I seriously wanted this thing to be good, but it just isn't. Alright, well that's it for this thing. If you actually have built this thing for something else other than what I've done for today, like maybe, let's say, like for drifting, and somehow for drifting it works, even though I feel like it might not, because the front end just doesn't seem to have any sort of ability to counter steer. Like, look how easy it just go. Like, it just loses control so easily. Maybe the drift suspension adds that extra little bit of steering angle that might help it, but it honestly just looks like it wants to understeer. Maybe there's like a very unconventional way of tuning this thing. Maybe that I've done it with a terrible tune. I've built this thing with a bad tune. Maybe that's the case as well. Yeah, let me know what you think of it, but it just doesn't feel like it's... First of all, it doesn't feel like this is making the power that it's making. And second of all, it just doesn't have the grip. Like I said, reaction-wise, it's fine. Like, it darts through the corners really quickly, but then it's just decides to understeer the rest of the way. Maybe it's my toe and camber that's set up wrong on this thing, but it just doesn't seem to be good. I don't know. Heavily disappointed with this car. Really disappointed. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, anyway. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm kind of sad that this thing didn't turn out, like, really nicely, though. But, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.